So starting from the MCQ, a cup contains hot liquid. Some of liquid evaporates. What happens to the mass and what happens to the weight of the liquid in the cup?
Mass stays the same, weight decreases?
Yes, mass stays the same and weight decreases. Which statement about evaporation is correct? Evaporation causes the temperature of the remaining liquid to decrease.
Yes.
Okay. So first statement is right, and evaporation does not occur from a cold liquid near its freezing point. Evaporation does not occur from a dense liquid such as mercury. Evaporation occurs from all parts of liquid. So first statement is the right statement that it will decrease the temperature of the remaining liquid. A gas is stored in a sealed container of constant volume. The temperature of the gas increases. This causes the pressure of the gas to increase. And if we increase the pressure, so what happens to the gas molecules during this pressure increase?
Their separation decreases?
Okay. The distance between molecules decreases, and according to the options, the average kinetic energy of the molecules increase, the average separation of the molecules decrease, the average separation of the molecule increase, or the volume of each molecule increase. So if you remember the concept when we are talking about kinetic energy, so normally when the kinetic energy of the molecules increase, so it starts colliding with the wall of the container, and the rate of collision will also increase. So it means when the pressure is increased, so the average kinetic energy of the gas molecules will also increase, right?
Okay.
So A is the right answer. Okay, for a liquid is evaporating, the liquid is not boiling. Which statement about the liquid is correct?
C?
C, because A and B is not possible. They are talking about any part of liquid, so that is not possible. C is possible because we know that we required enough energy to evaporate from the surface of the liquid. Question 5. Okay, so the piston is moved to the left or to the right. The temperature of the gas is kept constant. Which law describes the effect of moving the piston slowly in the direction shown in the table? If we are moving piston to the left, right? So let's suppose if we start from the left position, so what will be the change? Speed of the gas molecules.
No change in speed?
Okay. And what about the pressure?
It will increase?
Yes. So pressure will increase when we are moving towards left hand side, and pressure will decrease when we are moving on right hand side. So it means option B, right?
Yes.
Okay. So do you remember the concept of Brownian motion? The zigzag random motion?
Not really.
Okay. So we will complete this part later. Question 7. A sealed bottle of constant volume contains air. The air in the bottle is heated by sun. What is the effect on the average speed of the air molecule in bottle and the average distance between them?
The speed increases?
Speed increases because Air molecules is heated by the sun. Now we have two possibilities, C or D. Average distance between air molecules
Stays the same.
stays the same because we are having a constant volume. So D. Question 8. Air in a sealed syringe is slowly compressed by moving the piston. The temperature of the air stays the same. Which statement about the air is correct? So we are going to compress by moving the piston and the temperature stays same. Which statement about the air is correct?
C.
The pressure of air increased because its molecules now hit the syringe wall more frequently. Yes, C is the right one. Okay, this is also related to Brownian motion. We will question number 10.
Both of the quantities increase.
Option D.
Yes.
Sealed gas is left outside on a hot sunny day. What happens to the average speed? Yes. So both will increase. Question number 11.
C.
From where do the molecules escape and what is the effect on the temperature of the water in the pool? Okay, so they are talking about evaporation. So we know that only from the liquid surface and temperature of water pool will decrease. C is the right one. Okay, if we talk about this Brownian motion, so basically Brownian motion is related to the random motion of the molecules. So basically when we are talking about Brownian motion, so it refers to the random movement displayed by small particles So let's suppose if we suspend some particles in the fluid and then we observe the movement of those particles. So the movement of those particles are random or in zigzag manner because zigzag is also a irregular pattern. So that motion normally refers to the concept of Brownian motion, right? So the experiment was made by like this. Let's suppose we are having microscope to observe the micro movement of the particles and we are having pollen grains in water. So we have the complete concept of definition over here. We are having liquid over here and the particles of pollen grains in water. And when we observe the movement of the particles in the microscope, so basically they are in random or in zigzag motion, right? So basically this zigzag motion depends upon the size of the particle, right? So the size of the particle is inversely to the speed of the motion. So if we talk about the factors, so let's talk about the size, so you know that if we increase the size of the particle, so speed will automatically decrease, right? So if we increase the size, so speed will automatically decrease, right? Because particle becomes heavy, so it will move with slow speed. And further, if we talk about the other factor, so speed will also decrease if we increase the viscosity. Viscosity means the thickness of the liquid, right? Let's suppose if we replace this water by the oil, so speed will also decrease, right?
Yes.
Because now the liquid becomes thick and molecules will move with slow speed because of the thickness of that liquid, right? Okay, further, in the question they are talking about very small pollen grains are suspended in a beaker of water. A bright light shines from the side. Small bright dots of light are seen through a microscope. The dots move in rapidly changing random directions. So we are having a bright dots over here. And what are these bright dots in this whole experiment? So you have to identify what is the concept behind these bright dots. So according to Brownian motion, we are having a concept that the particles are going to hit by the molecules of the liquid, right? So when the molecules of liquid collide with the pollen grains in water, so when they both collide with each other, right? Or they both hit each other, or when pollen grain hit the molecule of the water, so it will produce a bright dot over there, right?
Yes.
So basically, bright dot represents you the collision between,
Water and pollen.
yeah, that is the collision between water and pollen grain particles. So when the particle of both matter strikes with each other, so it will produce bright dots, right? So it means option B.
Okay.
Question 12. Block with flat rectangular side rests on a table. The block is now turned so that it rests with its largest side on the table. How has this change affect the force on and the pressure exerted by the block on the table? So that is related to basically force, pressure, and area. So if you remember the formula, pressure equals to force over area. So area is now increased, right? So pressure will
Decrease.
decrease. So pressure is now decreased and the force remains same, right?
Same.
Because we are having same gravity and same mass and weight of the block. Only area will be different because of the orientation. So option C. Two states of matter are described as follow. In state 1, the molecules are very far apart. They move about very quickly at random in a straight line until they hit something. And in state 2, molecules are quite closely packed together. They move about a random. They do not have fixed position.
A.
Yes, state 1 is gas, state 2 is liquid. Okay, puddles of rainwater remains after a storm. The water in the puddles gradually evaporates. How does the evaporation affect the temperature of the water remaining in the puddle? And how does it affect the average speed of the remaining water molecules in the puddle? So temperature of water in puddle will decrease, right? So we have two possibilities, A and B, and the average speed of water molecules in puddle. Okay, so we are having same option in A and B. So it means we have to choose between A and B, but both options are same. So it will be hmm, temperature of water in puddle will decrease and average speed of water molecules in puddle will also decrease, right? Because some of them are going to evaporate in the atmosphere. So that's why the temperature will decrease and speed will also decrease, right?
Yes.
Okay, question 15. Now we are having gas molecules in a container which is fixed in volume and the temperature of the gas is now increased. What happens to the pressure of the gas and what happens to the speed of the gas molecules?
A.
Pressure of gas increases, speed of molecule increase. A. Question 16. Small smoke particles suspended in air are viewed through a microscope. The smoke particles move randomly. What does this show?
A.
The air consists of fast moving molecules. Yes. And 17. Molecules escape from a liquid during evaporation. The temperature of the remaining liquid change. Which molecules escape and how does the temperature change?
C.
Most energetic, temperature of the liquid decrease. C. Question number 18. The gas in a container is heated but is kept at constant volume. So what
D.
is constant? Gas pressure, the molecule increase in mass.
No, D.
D. The molecules move more rapidly. So that's why pressure will increase. And which law is correct for the evaporation of a liquid?
C.
The particles escaping from the liquid are on average the most energetic. Decrease. Yes, C is the right answer. A cylinder of constant volume contains a fixed mass of gas and the gas is cooled. What happens to the pressure of the gas and what happens to the kinetic energy of the gas molecules? So mass is fixed and gas is cooled. So what happens to the pressure of the gas and what happens to the
It decreases.
pressure of the gas decreases. Okay, and the kinetic energy
Also decreases.
also decrease because the motion of the particle will slow down. So that means both will decrease. A swimmer feels cold after leaving warm water on a warm, windy day. Why does she feel cold even though the air is warm?
D.
The more energetic water molecules on her skin do not escape quickly.
D.
Okay, D. The water on her skin evaporates quickly and cools her skin. Right. Because evaporation is a cooling effect. So D is the right option. Okay, now we have to select the state. State 1 is
Gas.
gas and state 2 is
Solid.
solid because the motion are to and fro. So that represents solids. So state 1 is gas, state 2 is solid, option B. The water in a lake is at 5 degrees Celsius. A diver measures the pressure of the water at two different depths in the lake. He repeats the measurement on a different day when the water is at 15 degrees Celsius. The density of water decreases when its temperature increases. Which combination of depth and temperature produces the greatest water pressure?
D.
Depth 20, temperature 15. Okay, so if you want to apply a greater pressure, so for that you require greater density or less density?
Less density
Less density. And density will be less or density will decrease when temperature.
is less.
Okay, so it means you need to decrease the temperature. So if temperature decrease, so density will increase, right? So for greatest water pressure, we need to select the greatest density, right?
Yes.
So it means that we have to select the lowest temperature and the greatest depth. So at that point, pressure will be maximum. Because now we are not talking about the gaseous state or the pressure on the container or on any piston. So that's why we are not working with greater temperature. We have to work with less temperature. So C is the right answer. 24.
C.
The average speed of the air molecules in the tire is greater. Why does the pressure of air in the tire? Yes, because the average speed of the air molecules in tire is greater. Because temperature increase, so speed will also increase.
A.
The grains are moved by randomly moving water molecules. Yes, A is the right answer. And 26.
Pressure increases, density decreases.
Okay,
No, no,
which
no. Both of them decrease.
okay, what happens to the density? Because we are going to compress the gas. So after the compression, density increase or decrease? Because
Oh
pressure
no,
increase.
both will increase.
Yes, because in this situation, pressure will increase and it means density will also increase, right? Because volume will decrease. According to the formula of density, mass over volume. So when volume decrease, so density will automatically increase. Okay, I think now you may solve the remaining questions. Okay, let's try to solve 31 because in this we have a graph. Okay, question 31. Which graph shows how the pressure of the gas changes with temperature? Some gas is trapped in a container of fixed volume. So volume is fixed and temperature of the gas increase. So if we increase the temperature, so temperature is increasing,
Pressure increases.
pressure increases. So option A is not possible because pressure is constant. Option B is not possible because pressure is decreasing. C is also not possible because pressure is gradually decreasing with increasing temperature. D is possible because with increasing temperature, we are increasing in pressure, right? So almost we have done half of the MCQs, and most of them are the similar one, only the way of the questioning is different. Otherwise, okay, just two more questions, 36 and 37. Question 36. A gas tank has a fixed volume. The graph shows how the temperature of the gas in the tank varies with time. So with increase,
B.
okay, at time y, the gas molecules are hitting the sides of the tank harder at time x, right? And 37, because we talk about the Brownian motion, the random zigzag motion. So which diagram best shows the path of a gas molecule?
C.
It is D because we have to select a zigzag plus random. C is in a specific pattern, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why we have to select D because D is also zigzag type and in random motion. So D is the right answer, right? Okay, so these are some MCQs. You may join back, then we will continue with the detailed questions, right?
Okay.